Wouldn't it be lovely to know our own value, to know our self-worth, but then be able to get whatever it is that we desire from that? Is that possible? Well, we're going to touch on this subject today. So it seems to be that in this reality, humans have, as a baseline, the belief inside of themselves of, I'm not good enough. It seems that our parents pass it down to us, and then we pass it down to our children, like a lineage, an ancestral lineage of beliefs, structures inside of ourselves. And then we act out our lives based around these belief structures. It's why most of us become employees. Why? Well, because we didn't really believe that we could make it on our own. Well, what's underpinning that? It's underpinning the sense of, I'm not good enough, perhaps. At least that was my journey and my way through it. And we believe we're not good enough in relationships, and we believe that we have to make the other person extremely happy and that we're responsible for their emotional well-being, when in fact, we're only responsible for ours. Yes, be nice, be kind, be responsible in our response to people, but we don't have to be responsible for their whole well-being, isn't it? What do these things come down to? Well, they come down to a belief of I'm not good enough. Oh, well, if I don't take care of them, then where's my worth? But our worth doesn't come from the things that we do. Our worth comes from our behaviour. Our worth, at least the showing of our worth to the universe and law of attraction, comes from our behaviour. It comes from actions. In the same way that the language of England is English, and you'd have to be able to speak English in England to get about, in the same way that the language of physical existence is physical actions. We have to do physical actions to get our way with the universe in this sense. And this is what brings us to the Yogic Path, because in Hatha Yoga we do sadhana. Sadhana just means your daily spiritual practice to bring about the highest aliveness of energy, to bring about the fullest potential in your life for you. And we do this sadhana, physical actions, physical yogic postures, so that we bring about a spiritual result in oneself. It's in the physical actions that our belief structures change. Well, why is that? Well, for me, it's because what is this I'm not good enough belief structure based around? Well, it's based around the ego. The ego is that secondary sense of self, that separating sense of self in oneself. And yoga is the practice to, yoga means union, and yoga is that practice to unify that separate sense of self into the wholeness of who we are, that no self. And when there is no negative sense of self at the basis of who we are, and it's just the larger awareness of who we are, we have that no self self-confidence, that no self self-worthiness. Why? Because we know that we're sons and daughters of the Most High. Of course, we're human, yes, and we'll die like men and women at some point, but we're the sons of Most High. So of course we can get what we want. Of course we can have assistance in our pursuits of these things. Thing is with law of attraction that I found in my life is that we must profess something first before life follows. It's like looking in a mirror. I have to move my hand for the mirror to copy me. If I don't move my hand and expect the mirror to copy me, I've lost it, haven't I? It's the same of life. And when we have this unworthiness belief inside of ourselves, it requires us to make the first move to change that to worthiness so that life can reflect that back to us. It's this mirror principle, it's law of attraction. And God loves courage. So how might we change this unworthiness wound inside of ourselves? Well, what about if we asked ourselves this fundamental question? Let's say we're about to act from fear. Let's say we're talking to a potential business partner, and We are scared we're going to lose that business partner and he's going to get a better deal elsewhere. So we act from that fear and say, okay, I'll give you this deal. Well, one, are we really holding on to our worth? No, probably because we give him a cheaper deal out of fear. But also, if we've acted out of fear, what have we done? Well, we've reinforced the belief of I'm not good enough. What we've said to ourselves is, I don't believe I was going to get that client, so I'm going to try and manipulate him into coming my way. But it reinforces the belief inside of ourselves of I'm not good enough, isn't it? Let's say we all have this divine path. And life is set out in such a beautiful, majestic way that we're all going to get absolutely everything that we want. Well, then shouldn't we trust that? Isn't it in trusting my path that I become worthy? Isn't my inherent worthiness then from my connection to God or life inside of me? Because I trust, I have that faith that everything will work out as needed for me. The question we might want to ask ourselves, at least this is something that I've been doing and I love doing it, is what would a worthy man do? Or what would a worthy woman do? I think the other way to say it is what would Jesus do? But to have real sincerity when we ask ourselves to do that. We don't like to use the Jesus one perhaps because it comes with lots of religious connotations and then things get all twisted and muddled sometimes. So what would a worthy man do? How would a worthy man act in this situation? Or would a worthy man act out of fear in this business situation? No, he wouldn't. He'd hold his ground. He'd stay in his power without giving his power away to insecurities. In fact, it means being so powerful inside of yourself that we don't manipulate any situations or any people. And that's becoming more pure, isn't it? And if you'd like to find out how to become more pure, not an ideological pure, but just purifying the system, detoxing yourself so that we can become empowered, and you're more than welcome to sign up for the breathing practice down below. It's totally free. You can also sign up for the you can apply for free for the one-to-one coaching down below, and also you can sign up for the free exclusive community on Facebook for awakening souls that are going through exactly the same that you are. It's a great group. Thank you, and everybody who is willing to communicate their views and help others on this journey. It's a really great group. Back to the video. What would a worthy man do? He would act out of his empowered, his no self-esteem. God loves courage in this sense. So if you're willing to be bold enough and brave enough to take actions out of self-worth, meaning to take actions, to not take actions out of fear, but to take actions out of intuition, out of guided inspiration, God loves that kind of courage and you get rewarded for it. To become that man of worthiness, though, there is some purification that needs to be done, isn't there? We need to be a man of integrity. We need to be honest. We need to be truthful. We need to be disciplined in our sadhana. We need to have cultivated these foundational principles, otherwise how is worthiness going to spring? Worthiness, in a sense, although it's inherent in our nature, once we've muddled that basic nature up with thoughts and belief structures, the worthiness has to be re-earned, in a sense. It has to be remembered in ourselves, and we do that through the sadhana, through the detoxification process of the body, through the purification of this vessel that we call the body, and we do that through yoga. I hope this video helps. I hope it encourages you to just ask for what you want, to not hold yourself away from your desires, because people are wonderful. I hope it means that we can tell the truth, because people are understanding. If you screw up, you screw up. Just say it. And then people are really kind and say, oh wow, thank you for saying that, I didn't realise it, appreciate your honesty there on that, and then we move on. We think it's such a big thing, and then we act out of unworthiness and we keep it down. We keep that fear inside of ourselves, but when we push through that fear and just open up and be honest, life will give you everything you want and need. Let's say life will give you everything that you need, but everything that you need is what you want anyway, so line up, go with it. act out of security, act out of empowered feeling, rather than tight fear, and watch your life change for the better. I hope this video helps, and of course if you want to sign up for the one-to-one coaching, you can do down below. I'm accepting loads of new people in now, so feel free to sign up. I love you very much, and have a lovely day.